Welcome back to our Beatrice YouTube channel. Today's class will be learning how to make this beautiful bodysuit using this stretchy velvet fabric. It's very simple to make and it is beginner friendly. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. This bodysuit, I have my pattern folded into two, so I'll be cutting both the front and back together. So you put your pattern on fold into two, and then I just rule this allowance just in case I need to extend anything. So now we're going to be starting by drafting like a mini basic bodice. So from the starting point, this is the starting point here, I'm going to be marking my points. So my chest line, which is also doubling as my armhole line, is 8.5. My waistline is 15.5, and then from the waistline here I'm going to measure the crotch line. So the crotch line is 11 inches. So from your waistline, just place your tape where your waistline is, and then you measure your crotch line, and then all this will be made into a straight line. Okay, so we have this as the crotch line, we have this as the waistline, and then we have this as the armhole line, also known as the chest line. So let me just label this chest line, the waistline, and the crotch. Okay, so now one important measurement. So after noting our important vertical measurements, now we start drafting. So the shoulder measurement I'm working with here is 7 inches. I'll mark that here. The neckline I'm working with is 3 inches for the front and 3 inches for the back, then 3 inches by 1.5 or 1 inch for the back. So I'm drawing the back neckline, which is here, and then for my front the neckline is this. So I have the back neckline and the front neckline, and then here I'm going to draw my shoulder slope. So I'll go down by 1 inch, and then I'll connect it to the neckline like this. Okay, so after that, now I'll mark my neck 7 inches here also. So like I said, it's just like drafting a normal basic bodice, and then I'm going to take that downwards like this, and then I'll get the midpoint of this, and then on the midpoint I'll go inwards by 1/2 inch for the front armhole, and then using my armhole curve or whatever curve you have that can take it all at once, I'm going to mark my bust measurement. So the bust I'm working with is 36 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 9 inches, but I'm using a velvet fabric for this bodysuit and it's quite stretchy, so I'll be removing 1 inch from that, and that's going to give me 8 inches. So I'll have 8 inches here for my bust, and then I'm going to draw my armhole curve. Okay, so if you have your armhole, so I have a armhole curve inside this, so I think this is going to take it better for me. So you just look for a place where you have your perfect curve, and then you draw your armhole curve. Okay, so I have that now, and then I'm going to draw this curve. So that's my armhole curve there. So here I'm going to measure my waist measurement. So the waist I'm working with is 30 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 7.5. So again, just like I did for this, I'll be deducting 1 inch from that, and that's going to give me 6.5. So I'm going to measure the 6.5 here. So I'm going to connect these together. Okay, so in order to shape my bodysuit, so from my waist to my crotch, I'll measure what I have, and whatever I have 11 inches, I'll divide that by 2, and that's going to give me 5.5 inches. So I'm going to mark that 5.5 inches from the waist measurement, and then I'm going to make that into a straight line. Okay, so after making that into a straight line, here I'm going to measure my take my hip measurement. The hip I'm working with is 38. The whereby first going to give me 9.5, then I'll remove 1 inch because of the stretchiness of the fabric, and that's going to give me 8.5. So I'm going to note the 8.5 here, and then I'm going to complete my measurement. So I'm going to connect that 8.5 from my waistline, and then I'll just connect it like that. So now we're almost done. The next thing is to draw out our crotch. So to do this, on the hemline here, I'm going to go down by 1 inch for my allowance, and then I'll just connect it like this. And then here I'm going to measure out 1 inch or 1.5 inches, depending on how thick, or even 2 inches. You want it to be at that under area. So let me shift it like this. So remember, if you are doing 1 inch, this is on fold. By the time you open it, it's going to be 2. So if you are doing 1.5, by the time you open it, it's going to be 3 inches. So let's just do 1.5 inches, and then on that extension I'm marking 1.5 inches here. The next thing is just to connect like this. So for ease of connection, to guide us at this point now, I'm going to go down here diagonally by 4 or 5 inches, depending on how you want it to be there. So I think I'm going to be using 4.5 inches, and then 4.5 inches is there. Then from here now you connect it to your crotch. I hope you get that. Okay, so you can either use your free hand, or if you have a curve that can work, you just connect from there, and then from here also you find where you can connect it to your crotch like this. Okay, so I have this for my front. You can adjust this anyhow you want. Now, like I said, you're going to be cutting the front and back together. So the back is just going to be a few modifications from the front, and I'll be using a different color of marker so that we will see the difference. So we'll start from the neckline. I'm going to change the color of marker I used for this neckline to blue, so that we will see where our back is, obviously. Okay, so we have our back neckline here. Also for the back armhole, remember we don't go in for our back armhole, so I'm just going to be connecting from this midpoint here to my armhole like that. So that's going to be my back armhole line. And also the major difference from this is on this crotch area. So it depends on how you want your crotch to be. Okay, so I'm just going to use this baby suit for an example of the modification we're going to be doing. So if you look at this very well now, you can see that for the crotch, the back is extended more than the front bodies. Actually, it's not compulsory you do it like this. You can make it equal and then pin it. But if you notice that by the time you wear this bodysuit, if this is longer, if the back is longer, it will be easier for you to bring the back from behind to pin it to the front like this, than just meeting them under your under crotch area. It may be a bit uncomfortable, and it may even look somehow. So that is why we're going to be extending the back crotch so that it can be more than the front. So we are leaving this front as it is. It's just going to be on the crotch line where it's supposed to be, and then we're going to be extending the back so that it can come now, follow that step, that other place, then come to the front for ease of adjusting, so that I can easily pin it to the front like this. So to do that now, for our back here, from this crotch line here, I'll be going downwards by 4 inches, and then I'll make that into a straight line like this, and I'll measure the same 1.5 inches, which is here. Okay, so now for me to connect from this hip point area, I'll go. Remember, the back is usually fuller than the front because of the butt that is on the back. So to do this now, remember we went in by 4.5 inches here, so I can do 6 inches for the back or more. So if I'm doing 6 inches, I'm just going to note it here, and then the measurement, the next connection I'll be doing is from here to this place, and then back to my back crotch. Okay, so using this long slightly curved ruler, I'm just going to take everything at once, and then I'll connect from here all the way to my crotch for the back. Okay, so the blue line represents the back, while the black line represents the front. So this is what we have here now. The next thing is just to extend this for the same allowance by 1 inch, just like we did for the front, and then we are done with this. So after this, now I'm going to add 1/2 inch seam allowance around this pattern so that I can easily join it when I cut it. So what I'm going to do now is to add 1/2 inch seam allowance round now, then I'll cut out my back panel before we cut out the front. Okay, so all the necessary allowance have been added. Now you can see what we have. So now I'm going to cut out this pattern. So I'm cutting the back, and then I'll add allowance to the front also, and then I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so now I'm done cutting the sides. So the next thing is to cut out the center also. Remember, this is just an allowance and I don't need it anymore because this is going to be cut on fold. There is no zipper for this, so we are using a stretchy fabric. Okay, so now I have this, and I'm just going to remove this, and this is going to be my back panel. So I'll just label this back, and then here I will note that this has to be cut on fold, and I will note that allowance is added already. So any important thing that you need to note on this, you just note it. So now I'm going to bring in my front panel now, and then add allowances we have now. Remember, I've already added the allowances I need here. So I just added allowance on the sleeve. Remember, it's still the same for this, and then on the neckline area also I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch because the neckline is different from what we have for the front. So, and then here I added allowance to this crotch area also. So now I'm just going to cut out the front now, and then we are through with this. So I'll be using the velvet fabric for this, and like I said, the fabric is stretchy. So now I'll put my fabric on fold now and cut this out because there is no zipper for this. So here I'm just going to note that this part has to be cut on fold. So I'll go ahead and cut it and bring it back to show us. Okay, so this is cut out now. This is the back part now, and then this is the front. Okay, so now the next thing is just to remove the pins and then join it together on the shoulder. After joining it on the shoulder, we'll join it on both sides, and then you fix a press button or a whatever it is you want to use to fix them together. And then this is what I was explaining. Then you bring the back to meet the front here, and then you pin it together. So now I'm going to remove the pin and take it to the machine to sew. So this is the back opened. So like I was explaining, I'm just going to lay the front on it like this, and then I'm going to join it on the shoulder, on both shoulders, and then on the side. So the side have to match because we cut them together. So you see, then after that now you fix pin or whatever it is you want to use to fix it, and then you hold it here together. So now I'll join it, then take it to the mannequin so that we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what our bodysuit is looking like, and this is it. Okay, so I just held mine with the pin, but you just drag it from behind. So that was what I was explaining. So it's easier for you to just clip it in front here than clipping it underneath here. It may be a bit uncomfortable. That was why we increased the crotch for the back, for it to come and meet the front. And in the case of the crotch, in my case, like I said, I used a stretchy fabric, so that was why the 4 inches is okay for me because the fabric really stretches. But if you're not using a stretchy fabric, you may consider using maybe 6 or 7 inches as your extension for the back so that it can come to meet the front. And this is what we have. You can see how beautiful it is. I'm just going to turn it to the back so that we can see what it looks like on the back also. Okay, so this is the neckline of the back, and this is the back at the bum area also. So if you want it fuller or thinner than this, you can decide it while you are drafting it. So it doesn't have to be this size of, if you don't want it to cover up as much as this, or if you want it to cover more than this, you just need to shape it anyhow you want while you were drafting it. So I hope you enjoyed making this tutorial with me. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.